Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here in the lovely World of Raccoons with me, Vanillaraccoon. Hey yo! Look at the pigs! Look at all the Romeos! There's Romeos! Oink oink. Oh, give me that screenshot. There we go. Okay, you guys. So, it is episode 80, and with that being said, we are now going to begin our new project, which is creating from the ground up a grand, extravagant, extraordinary, fantasy-themed Minecraft village. We pretty much got our practice going on with, we pretty much practiced our building in this theme over at the NatGen village, which is actually right over there across the hills, but apparently it's not in render distance, and the sun is starting to go down. So what I have with me is a chest surrounded by 4 torches, just as here we go, just as spawning into a whole new world would give you if you turn on that feature. So let's go ahead and set our spawn right here. Now we are still going to be using the resources that we had gathered over by the NatGen village. It's just for this episode I wanted to start it off by looking like we were in an entirely new world. But can I please go sleep? Thank you very much. Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z Z, and hello, good morning, wakey wakey. And yes, so let's go ahead, get our armor on. Oh, I just love that sound. And let's go ahead and begin by planting the saplings down. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and show you every little thing that we're going to be doing for this project. Well, at the start of this new project, and that's because the way I am approaching this new project, creating an entire new village, a fantasy-themed village, is I'm basically acting as if I've gone ahead and created a whole new world. Again, we are still in the lovely World of Raccoons. It's just the way I'm approaching this project is as if it's a whole new entire world. Like, we've upped and left the World of Raccoons, but thankfully we haven't. So now that we got those saplings done, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to continue planting, and I'm going to go ahead and begin doing some bone meal action once I convert these bones into bone meals, and I'll see you guys in a moment. Now that we got all the trees grown, let's have a brief little chat, because I was watching another YouTuber's Let's Play series, and he started a whole new world for his Let's Play series, and he was going over some rules that were going to be carried over from the previous world into his new world. And if I remember correctly, there were only like 3 rules. However, one was, wow, way to draw a blank once the camera's rolling, V. Okay, so one of his rules that I heard actually pertains to something that I would like to establish here in this world, and that is of player heads. Now, on Twitter, I ran a poll that basically asked you guys, the lovely viewers, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, that is, you would have seen this tweet, but anyway, I asked, would you guys mind if I started to use player heads in my Let's Play series? And by that, I mean, if you're unaware, there are custom player heads that may resemble, say, an apple, a loaf of bread, a mini bookshelf, many different things. There are custom player heads that they can resemble. And I have been wanting to start using them in this world only for decorational purposes. However, I still would like to keep the game mode 0 rule intact, meaning that I only really would go into game mode 3. So that way I can try and fly around and get some good shots for screenshot purposes only that I could then use for my YouTube thumbnails. But a majority of the people who voted, which was only like 3 people total, a majority of those 3 people who voted said, go ahead, V, you be odd. Go ahead and use the player heads if you want. And to sort of copy what this one YouTuber was saying, I'm gonna set values for these player heads, meaning that instead of just going, oh, okay, this build is done, let's go ahead and start decorating it with some player heads, I want to have to pay for it in a sense. And I'm not entirely sure what we should set the value to be. So I'm going to ask you guys for your honest and reasonable ideas for what we should set the cost value to be for a player head. Now, I will make this clear right now. I am not rich, but I am not poor. I guess you could say I am upper middle class if you want to have some type of realistic economic term to go by to then get an idea as to how much of what I have in this world so far. In this part, that is. Actually, let me go ahead and disclose that right now. I'm sure in other parts of the world, I have like diamond blocks upon diamond blocks upon diamond blocks and gold blocks upon gold blocks and so on and so forth. But I don't want to do that much traveling because this is going to be the central focal point of this entire world. This is where all the impressive stuff is going to be located, at least for now, for the next, I guess you could say, the remainder of this summers and maybe going into the fall. Yeah, that's how big this project is going to be. So, I just wanted to, briefly come back and just ask you guys what okay. I have Discord open on my second monitor, and Watermelon was messaging me, and yeah. So, I'm gonna go ahead, and I'm actually going to begin to construct my new signature house. For those of you who do not know, sorry about that. For those of you who do not know, I tend to, from time to time, create a house, and I love it ever so much that I then begin to build it pretty much everywhere I go and on every server that I join and play on for that time being. But this new house is going to suit the fantasy theme that we're going to have over here in this Minecraft village that we have yet to build. So I'm gonna go ahead, get that done and over with, and I'll show you guys when it's time to show you my crib. So the new Vanillaraccoon signature starter house has been completed and for the most part fully furnished inside and somewhat out, and right now I'm just currently making my way back to it from the NatGen village, and that is because on my person I have, as you guys can tell, some resources that I am not going to say I'm in complete need of, but it would be very helpful to have these already over in the new project area, so that way I at least do not have to be all caught up in building something and then suddenly go, oh gosh darn it, I need more of this. Oh wait, there's some more of this over at the NatGen village, and then have to do a long trek back. But yes, this is a player head. It's my player head. This head is mine. It resembles me. It is of me with my Assassin's Creed hood up. I wonder if you can spawn in a player head without your outer layer skin thingy mabob on it. If anyone knows the answer to that, feel free to let me and other people who may wonder this know. And Piggy, you're my best friend till the end. I'm gonna name you Chucky. So, like I said, I do plan on using player heads. Well, only my player head, but I do plan on using custom player heads in the from this point on for this series, but I would like to have some form of value for them, so that way I don't go too crazy with the custom player heads. But for the most part, you guys, this is what my new signature house looks like. This, I'm not going to lie, in my Let's Build world, I did a lot of work designing this house. I think I spent about, maybe, in all honesty, to keep it a bean with yous all, I think I spent about 2 months in real lifetime working on this design until I was finally content, well, not content, happy with it. I know I tend to say quite often that with your art, you should be content with it. But if you start to become content with everything, then at least for me, I know this is very true. For me, at least, when I start to become content with almost everything I create, I tend to start to get sloppy, and I don't want to put out sloppy work. I want to put out great work. But let's just go ahead, take a look inside as to how this looks. So when I first started to, let's just go ahead and turn this down because this is actually a little bit loud for me, and I don't want to have to feel like I'm talking over something when really I'm not. So when I first started to design this house, it was actually when I started to really get into the whole learning about adding depth, detail, and variation to my builds. And so obviously with this new signature house, you're going to see that I utilized almost every single space that is available. Obviously, because we do have this open space right here for the functionality and for the form. There's another F word, but I can't think of what it is, so I'm going to say form. But for this particular part of this build to be fully functional and to be in for its form to be great, I'll say it's logical to just leave it open, because we don't want to get in the habit, well, I don't want to get in the habit of at least beginning to apply small little bits of detail like fence post, fence gates in these open areas, because then eventually it's going to be a bit too much. And if there's anything that we can learn from everyday life related stuff, is that there is in fact a thing of too much of one thing. There is such a there can be too much of one good thing. There we go, that's what I'm trying to say. So I think for the most part though, this is gonna do it for this episode. I mainly wanted to just start this, I mainly wanted to go about this video as if, again, this was a day 1, day 0 even, so to speak, in a whole new world. But obviously we're still in the lovely World of Raccoons, and for now at least, this is my small farm. Although I think this will actually be considering I'm just starting out in this part of the world, this is going to become fairly productive soon enough. I just got to keep doing my thing, just got to get my build on, and as time passes, so the crops will grow, and then next thing you know, it'll be time to harvest and then replant and all that fun stuff. So I hope you guys are excited for this new project. Again, this is pretty much taking almost everything I've learned in playing Minecraft for the past 5. Oh, look at that, we got a baby chicken out of that egg. This project is basically taking everything that I've learned from playing Minecraft within the past 5 to 6 years now, actually. Holy crap, I'm old. This is taking every single thing that I've learned from this game, from playing it for 5 to 6 years, and now actually utilizing all this knowledge to be able to create something that I will be able to look back at hopefully years from now and smile and say, yep, all that time playing video games and learning and such led up to this, my most prized creation. I don't want to say my most prized possession, but my most prized, my most treasured creation, my baby, so to speak, if you will. So chicken, we have a lot of chickens and a lot of pigs. We're gonna have to we're gonna probably pretend that the pigs inhabit this fantasy village. There's an idea in itself. What if the piggy wigs inhabited this fantasy village here? But anywho, you guys, that is going to do it for this episode. So, if you like what you see, then please give that like button a hug and subscribe for the latest buzz. And if you had a blast with a good laugh, then make sure you favorite this video and share it with a friend or two. But until next time, peeps, this is Vanillaraccoon. Oops, kind of hit the wrong key there. No, pig! I was trying to take a screenshot with it. Peace out.